Hello YouTube. I have a new device for you. It's called a chainsaw and a bucket. Not really, it's a Stihl 025. I was so disappointed with the FarmerTec MS250 kit. I went to a pawn shop, got me an 025, and the plan is if I need parts, I've got an entire saw that I can steal off of. No pun intended. The uh, the saw here, it had the 025 had a coating of carbon in the exhaust port, and we'll get a little look here. As you can see, it's not a buildup, but it needed to come off, and now's the time to do it. So I'm going to leave it in the bucket in that position, and I'm going to fill the exhaust port with decarbonizing fluid from Stihl and leave it overnight. That's the plan. Now, that's already happened, and now we're going to take it and we're going to look at it. A really nice dirty air filter. It's seen some use, but it's in good shape. I mean, there's no broken plastic. It does not have a vent on it. It either fell off or they just didn't replace it. I'm going to show you here that they had used some of that yellow fuel line. Is supposed to be ethanol resistant, and that thing's like a piece of wood. So that hose, so it doesn't work so good. I put the bolt in there so that after I cut off the filter, and it had used one of those cotton ball filters that is either from Walboro, I believe. I don't particularly like those. But in any case, what they'd done is they had taken the OEM filter and cut it off, top and bottom, and then threaded that tubing down through it. And apparently it worked. And there we can see the trigger and the in different parts, all intact. Bar, not in bad shape. I don't know about the chain. I'm not up to date on chain yet. That's a whole nother thing. And I believe this is a 302 mount. As you can see, it's open on the end there, and those holes are closer than normal. This is only used on a few saws. The 025 being one of them. There's the part number from Hutzel, www.hutzel.net. Now, on the 025, what I've done is I've taken the Dremel, and I've cleaned out very nicely all of the carbon. I soaked it in the decarbon, and then I used the little wheels, and I tried several of them before I found the right combination. The cheapest wheel that I got off of the bay. Now those are thicker, and you see the size of that metal portion in the middle. That prevented me from using that. Uh, Before I knew it was the metal, I took it and um, I trimmed the material down, cut it. It still wouldn't work. And I happen to have another one, and and that's funny looking because it's all ragged. But it looked like the other one, just not as much material to start with. But by the time it was ruined by the time I got done. But it removed every single bit of that carbon. It looks just like brand new. As a cylinder can look, a port. But it cleaned it up really, really well. So um, I'll remember that from now on and use it. But the Dremel is just one heck of a tool to have when you're doing stuff like this. So the carbon's gone, every bit of it, and it wasn't hard. I mean, it was. I didn't scratch anything, no damage. Carbon didn't do any damage. So um, after I get it running, and when the cylinder's hot, I will pour decarb um, into the spark plug hole, and we'll do that. Now we're looking at the sprocket, and it's in good shape. There's hardly any material removed off of that. Those are just marks. So um, the 7-tooth 325 sprocket is totally fine. Uh, don't need to use to change it or replace it or anything, which is wonderful because it's an old saw, and I want it. I want to not have to put very much money in it and get it running. Because I got a bunch of big saws and I need some small ones. This is perfect. The brake parts are um, I have a complete set of OEM brake parts that I can put on here, and the brake band that is on there doesn't look like it's been used. It's 0.6 or less of thickness. You're supposed to replace it. This looks like it's an entire complete band. Like this guy didn't use it. Use the brake. So again, there's no vent there. I'm showing you that yellow fuel line. That blows my mind. Who ever thought of that? I mean, was smart. I wouldn't do it like that. I don't think putting, um, an OEM fuel line in there is going to be that hard. An impulse line, yeah, because you'd have to take that stinking handle off of it. which is, really kind of irritating. And I'm just looking at all the gunk in it. I'll take the sides off of it and clean it up, and then I will be back very soon with the finish.